Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to be doing a brief review of eighth notes, and then I'm going to be going through exercise number 46 in the book with you. Yeah, we're jumping ahead just a little bit so we can get to a new concept with rhythm. So we're skipping a page or two and we're going to jump over to exercise number 46. But first, just a quick review. We know we have a measure of 4/4 here with just 4 quarter notes. So we know that we would count that as beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. Very simple. Now, we know that a half note equals a quarter note plus a quarter note. So that would be beat 1 and 2. So we would have the quarter note, 2 quarter notes, both equaling 1 beat. Added together, you get a half note, which is equal to 2 beats. In the same way, you can break a quarter note in half. And you can have 2 eighth notes. Each one of these is an eighth note. You can combine them together and write them like that to make it easier and cleaner to read. That's totally fine. Each one is half a beat. So they're both half a beat. You add them together, 2 eighth notes equal 1 quarter note. You get a full beat. A half plus a half equals a full beat. So you can see here. Now, back to our measure over here. 4 quarter notes in 4/4 time. Now, all of a sudden, we have 8 eighth notes in 4/4 time. We know that each group of 2 equals 1 beat. So that's beat 1. There we have beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. But now we need to know how to count this half beat in the middle. We call this the downbeat and the second one the upbeat. And for each one, we use this little plus sign. And we don't say half, we don't say plus, we say and. So if I was to count this line right here, I would say 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. Okay? Just remember, you're splitting the quarter note in half to get 2 eighth notes. Now let's look at this example right here as I draw it. We have a measure in 4/4 time. We know that this is beat 1. We know that this has to be beat 2, and we would break it down as 2 and, because each one is half a beat. Then we have a beat 3 and beat 4 over here. And we'll do one more example in a similar sense. We have our measure of 4/4. We have beat 1 here with the quarter note. We have beat 2 here with the quarter note. And now we have it written like this. 2 sets of 2 eighth notes. So we know each one of these groups equals 1 beat. 1 beat. And we know that because of that, we write 3 and now we have beat 4, so we would write 4 and. So I'm going to quickly just clap this for you. This measure down here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. Sorry, the camera's shaking. It's shaking a little bit. I'll tap it against my chest. Hopefully you can hear it. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. And there we go. Now we know how to count through eighth notes. So I'm going to clear the board. I'm going to put up an excerpt from that number 46 for you to break down rhythmically. So now, right here, I've written out the rhythms for exercise number 46. Don't worry about the notes. They're going to be different for each instrument. So just focus on the rhythms here. So let's look at the first measure. Easy enough to start. We have beat 1, we have beat 2. Now, the next beat we have to have in the measure is 3. It's 2 eighth notes, so each get half a beat. So the first half is 3, the second half is and. 3 and 4. So we would have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's look at the second measure. It's exactly the same as the first measure. So we already know what the counts are. And very conveniently, the third measure is also the same. And the fourth measure, the very last one, We know that. We've been doing that since earlier in this year. We have beat 1, beat 2, and then we have a half note, so we have 2 beats. So it's 3 and 4. 3, 4, excuse me. So we have that, simple enough. I'm gonna count and tap my chest through it. My other hand's holding the camera, so I can't clap. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now the very last thing I'm gonna do for this video, as far as breaking it down for you is concerned, is I'm going to play through number 46. I'm going to do it on flute, because that's the book that I have in front of me right now. So I'm going to quickly play through it. There is a repeat sign at the end. The 2 lines with the 2 dots right in front of it. It's a repeat sign. We haven't talked about that yet in class, so you don't have to worry about it right now. But ultimately, it would mean that you go back to the beginning and you play it again. But, excuse me, for right now, I'm more concerned with you knowing the rhythms. So, what I want you to do is pay attention to the difference between the quarter notes and the eighth notes. See which one is faster, which ones you hold longer. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so if you noticed, I articulated the eighth notes faster than I did the quarter notes. Remember, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me play it for you one more time to make sure that you can hear the difference between the 2. Okay, and there you have it. That is the breakdown of the rhythms for number 46, along with a breakdown of how to play it, how to count it, and all that stuff. So hopefully you find this video helpful. Remember, even if you don't play the flute, you can practice along with the recording that I just made. Although if it's too fast for you, and that's totally fine if it is, remember to practice at your own speed, very slowly. Write in fingerings that you need, write in rhythmic counts that you need, whatever's going to make you the most successful on this. And we're going to do this more in class next week. So that first full week of December, we're going to do this in class. Okay? I'm also going to do this on violin for you as well. Now for violins and cellos, there's an important thing to know. When we pluck, and I'm just going to do it plucked first. When we pluck, if we have a half note, we have to hold it out for 2 beats, but we only pluck once. When we have eighth notes, that's different from a half note because it's 2 distinct notes. So you have to pluck for each one. So if I was playing 4 quarter notes, I would pluck 4 times. But now if I was going to pluck 8 eighth notes, it was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So there's a difference, so make sure we're aware of that. Now, I'm going to quickly pluck through number 46 for you. I gave this out in class. I've also posted the handout on Google Classroom if you have lost the copy that I gave you in class, so it should go right in your music folder. So here's number 46, and I even wrote on there which string you need to use for each note. Remember, your A, second space A, it's open A string. Everything else is on your D string. And I even took the liberty of writing in the fingerings for you so you know how many fingers you have to have down for this. Now, there's actually no G. The note G doesn't appear in number 46, so you only have to worry about your open strings, first finger E, second finger F sharp for this one. So let me play it for you now. Okay, as you can see, for the eighth notes, I had to pluck, but I had to pluck faster to fit 2 in 1 beat. than I normally would if I was just plucking a quarter note. Now, I'm gonna grab the bow. I'm gonna do a quick demonstration of how to bow this exercise for you as well. Just like when we plucked, we have to make sure that we're doing two distinct bow motions, bow strokes. Okay, there you have it. You saw me bow on the 2/8 notes whenever those 2/8 notes popped up. And at the end, when you had the half note, you saw me bow very slowly to make sure that I held out the note for 2 beats. Ta, 1, 2. Okay, there you have it. Cellos, obviously, I did this on violin instead of cello, but the exact same principles apply to you. You're just going to be reading a paper that's in bass clef that says cello at the top, and you're going to be using slightly different fingerings for your F sharp than the violins would. Okay, there you have it. That's a complete breakdown of number 46 for winds and strings. I've covered the rhythms. I've covered how you have to pluck or bow if you're a string player, and I played it through for you twice if you're a wind player. If you have any questions, leave comments on the videos. Come to Extra Help, which is going to be resuming back to its normal Tuesday, Thursday schedule. If you meet with another teacher at that time and you still want to come in and see me on a different day, come talk to me and we can schedule a time in advance so that I know that I need to be here to see you. Otherwise, I might not be here. Happy practicing. Remember to fill out your practice records. I'm going to be checking them every week going forward, and I will see you in class soon.